Coach Bill here. Hey, today we're going to talk about an exercise program geared for, right now I'm coaching 8 to 10-year-olds, boys in baseball. We're going to develop, or we actually have developed a program, 2 physical therapists developed it, and a program that's going to work on doing some basic strengthening to improve performance, as well as hopefully preventing injuries with this. We're going to use exercise resistance bands, and I'm going to first show you how you can attach it to a fence that you're going to find at any baseball field. So what I'm doing first here is just hooking up something to the fence. The exercise band often doesn't do well when it's directly in contact with the fence because there can be some sharp edges on that. So I've just got a piece of nylon that belts together, used for strapping material. So I've got that there, but a rope would work. And then I'm going to take my band and just pass that through there. And what I want to do is I want to get both ends equal in length so that they're coming out here, and I've got them right there. And we're about good with that. And we'll back this camera up. So I've got my resistance band here. Both ends are relatively even. And with this, I'm using a darker band. The gray or black is a fair amount of resistance. If I have a really long, heavy resistance band, that additional distance will allow me to use something like this without any difficulties. Or I could get a lighter resistance band. If you have a light resistance band and you want more tension on it, you just simply move away from the anchor point. So I'm going to be right here. I'm going to wrap this around my hands, and I'm going to do a rope back into this position where my shoulders and elbows are about the same height. I'm going to rotate back into an externally rotated position. So here, bring my hands up into this position. We don't want to see a lot of movement with the body. It should be nice and straight and rigid. The core nice and strong. So this is row to external rotation in a high position, consistent with a ball throwing position. In terms of sets and reps, I have everybody try to do 1 set of 10 to start off with and see how they feel the next day to determine if they should do more or less. This is an exercise that you can do on a daily basis. All of these are going to be. So that's row to external rotation like that. Then you can rotate around and do the same thing. We don't have the row component of it, but we want to go into internal rotation from this high position like this. Coming down like this. Elbows staying relatively still as you rotate forward. What we want to make sure we avoid is we don't have the whole arms coming forward like that. It's a rotation where the elbow doesn't move and the arms come down from that position. Too easy, I step out further and make it harder. Like this. Too hard, I step back and make it easier. Starting 1 set of 10 of these with really good focus on proper performance as opposed to quick and aggressive movements. Okay, so that's our internal and external rotation. Always making sure it shouldn't be causing pain. It may feel like it's working the player out, but that's just that exercise feeling. Now we're going to move into where we do a trio of exercises together. So from this position, we're going to come up into a position like a Y. So my arms form that Y, and then I come back down. So that's a Y. Then we're going to go out and do a T, coming back like this. So if you look at me from the back, I kind of look like a T. And then we're going to do a W, where we come back to this position. So my arms should look something like a W with that. So we do a Y and a T and a W, and then we go back to the same thing. Y, T, W. And this is working the upper back, which takes a lot of stress from throwing mechanics with that. So that's the basics. Internal, external rotation are Y, T, and W's with that. That could be a great program for somebody to do where they progressively get more and more reps, more and more resistance with that. Often some of my players will ask me, okay, if that's the basics and I want to go beyond that, what are some other exercises I can do. And the first one that comes to mind is baseball is a rotational sport. So let's work some rotation with that. So as a bonus exercise, you can just have both ends of this, wrap it, bring your hands like this, and you're here. And if you step away from your anchor point and hold that resistance, or resisting the resistance to rotate, is going to help strengthen your rotators. You bring your hands out further, it's harder to do. If you're here and you want to do some additional rotation there, this would, be replicating a left-handed thrower or a left-handed batter in terms of the rotation piece. Obviously our hands are in a different position. Then I could rotate, come around over to this side. So I'm here, come out, get to here where I've got lots of resistance, and I can go a little bit further, or I can just hold it here. But we're more of a dynamic movement in baseball, so that movement right there at the end range here gives me that resistance piece of it. So that's one additional exercise you could do with that. And then often, really, if I were to do something additional to that, I would say some core strength is always good. So just your basic plank, front plank here, and you can add some foot up with that, arm up, all those are helpful. And then side plank. This is things that all athletes need. If it's really easy for them, that's probably we can give some more additional difficulties with it by bringing the leg up. And those exercises together, really, we did those 5 first, an additional rotation exercise, and some core strength is a great place for our younger athletes to start. You have a great day, and hopefully this is helpful for you.